guess that kind of concludes the Butcher test run, although it's not really a test run because I admit I have played this game
Ammunition
before.
here.
Of course I played this game before. I've used this gun prior to this video. Yes, I know. I said I was going to wait for its own separate video, but I couldn't help myself. And I played a little bit of it on my own time, so I attached a couple extra days on with the Butcher playtime. And that combined with this video, I mean, after all the shit the Butcher's gone, don't get me wrong, I didn't come into this totally optimistic that it was going to be the best gun ever. But I still was kind of disappointed because I was still kind of expecting, you know, it to actually have some unique features to it. Like, for example, the Vanu LMG, directive LMG, has no ammo. Or it just has a heat mechanic and not ammo. And the Godsaw apparently has a secondary fire mode where it can damage vehicles. I wouldn't know, that's what I've just heard and seen in the description of the Godsaw. And the only thing, like, in reality, like, you know, as much as I was excited to get this gun, in reality, if we go here and click on compare stats, put the filter on, just so you know, make it a little bit easier on myself. So it says in the description, the Butcher is built on the Carve platform. The Carve is the default LMG, so compared to the default LMG, which is what the Butcher is based off of, has a slightly higher fire rate, has a bigger magazine size, and apparently its hip accuracy is better. So as much as I hate to say this, at the end of the day, the Butcher is pretty much just a glorified T9 Carve with a fancy, shiny camo on it. And as much as I hate to say that, I still like the gun. Like, I still like sending down 150 plus bullets down range. But it's not as amazing as other guns in the same class on the Terran Republic. Because in terms of long-range fighting, the Rhino and the Watchman actually do a better job based on my own experience and throughout the course of this grind. I mean, obviously I did interaction with the Watchman, but after I got the Butcher, I bought the Watchman with certification points, and I've been kind of using that on and off. Only a couple of weeks ago did I start using the Butcher outside of this intended video. So there you go. So things like the Rhino and the Watchman do better at range, while things like the MSWR and the Carve S and the Carve itself do better at close range, while the NS15M2 is just a good all-arounder, and I barely use this thing anyway. I thought this was station cache on my new conglomerate character, thinking that this could actually be used for the LMG directive. Apparently not. It has its own directive class. I should have checked it first, but whatever. But I haven't used this as enough to really count it anyway, and I haven't used all of these, so I can't really base those off anyway. So at the end of the day, the Butcher is pretty much a glorified T9 Carve that shoots a little bit faster and has more ammunition. And based off my experience with the default T9 car, I can't really tell the difference between the two fire rates anyway, because it's only like a 15% increase, or a 16% increase, I think. Because yeah, this one is 769, and that's just 750. So yeah, it's like a 16-point increase. I can't really tell the difference. I can tell the difference between the magazine sizes, yes, but it really doesn't make anything special. It's kind of pretty much if the T9 Carve would have access to high-velocity ammunition and an extended magazine. That's all it is to it. And yes, it looks cool and flashy. It still doesn't amount to really much of an upgrade compared to all the other LMGs. And yes, I did have my moments with the Butcher, but Every gun has their moments. You can go on a killing spree with any gun and think it's actually good, but in the overall spectrum over the past hour, I'm really disappointed, and I really hate to say that because the Butcher is the first LMG or directive weapon I unlocked. Right? It's the first Araxium, metal 5, whatever, 1160 kills times 5. It's the first weapon grind I've completed since the directives came out. And I've been working at this for a long time, so I was kind of expecting something a little bit better than Overgloryfied T9 CRV. That's just what it is. So unless you're a hardcore heavy assault player like me, and you play so much heavy assault, you might as well go for the LMG and heavy assault directives, then it's definitely not worth it. If you prefer jumping around in a light assault or sneaking around as an infiltrator, stick to those classes. Don't go for the Butcher just because you want to do something different. It's gonna be a waste of your time if you're not hardcore heavy assault like myself. So that's kind of my review on the Butcher. I still like it, but I wish it was a little bit more. At least I wish they were kind of distinguishable, like the Godsaw and whatever the fuck the Vanu LMG is called. But anyway, that's going to conclude my Butcher video. My next weapon grind is going to be New Conglomerate LMGs. I already have 5 weapons picked out and ready to go on that faction. So there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for watching, and I'm out. Peace.